Okay, guys. So let's get straight into it, no? So we're looking at the R65. This is for me the better low budget keyboard um, within the RK line, no? So the reason why I'm buying this is because this is my son's old RK61, no? So medyo madumi, guys, no? But basically medyo nasira na niya, no? So this is the wired version of the RK61. So what happened was, so if you can see the USB-C there, parang medyo nasira niya yan, right? So obviously I can probably have it fixed, but I decided, hey, let's just buy something new, right? And let's test what's out there. So hence why we have this R65 keyboard, right? And honestly, I was quite surprised. So I started looking around. I was actually in Data Blitz. I was looking around and I was checking out the keyboards. So like originally my budget was to look for something similar to the RK61, and then I saw this and I was like, okay, not bad the price, right? So let's move into the whole keyboard, right? But let's start with the unboxing. So typical fashion, you've got the RK box here, you know, it's typical orange box, right? So nothing flashy within the box. But here's the specs. So one thing that you have to remember is that the R65 has multiple versions, okay? So this one is the R65 QMK single mode. Single mode, meaning to say it's only wired, right? So there is a tri-connection mode wherein it's wired. It is it has Bluetooth. It has 2.4 connection. Okay, so this one has RGB. I believe they all have RGB. They're all hot swap as well. And this is the green sand version. Okay, so the one that I saw in Data Blitz, it seems that they only have the green sand version. But I'll flash it up, right? There are multiple colors for this. There are multiple colorways for this as well. So there's like this black one. There's like this really nice cyan one. And then there is a blue version. And then like this, they call it clay green here as well, right? So very, very, very nice. Okay, so in terms of switches, so this one's all over the board, right? We all know RK is, you know, they make keyboards according to whoever their supplier is. So like your supplier, if I'm selling RK, I can opt to carry, okay, say 4 different colors or maybe only one switch and so on and so forth, right? So in Data Blitz, they actually carry both the chartreuse and the brown. Okay, so the chartreuse will do a, is what I got, right? We'll do a sound test on this later as well, right? But basically it's the more linear one, right? It's closer to a red switch, basically. So I've also seen in Lazada that they also sell a blue, brown, and a chartreuse, right? That's the red one, okay? So once again, I'll place the links here. I got this for only, would you believe, 1,895. How much is that in US dollars? So about $35. So like the other reviews that I've been seeing around, I've been seeing that, hey, this goes for about $45. Crazy, right? But guys, here in the Philippines, in Data Blitz, you can get this for about $35, okay? But typically, like in the other websites that I'm seeing right now, maabot siya ng mga 2,000 plus, 2,100, right? I'll place all the links here as well. But the ones that I can get affiliated, meaning to say my kickback ako, is only the ones in Lazada. So honestly, it's really up to you guys. But I'll place the links either way. Because the one in Data Blitz is very cheap. Okay, so as you can see here, comes with the manual. I've seen another video where in this manual it was actually colored. Honestly, I don't really care about that. Right, the only thing I really want to know is actually these key combinations, right? Um, and we'll test that also in a while, right? Um, so nice, at least it has this cover, right, to protect the keyboard. And then you've got the actual keyboard that's covered in, I'm hoping that it's biodegradable plastic, no? So we'll place the keyboard on the side for a bit. Okay. And then, so obviously I've already opened this as well, right? So let's just put these aside. So the first one is you've got a USB-C to USB-A, right? Let's see how long this is. So medyo galante siya, no? It's roughly about 1.7 meters in length, right? The cable. Next, you've got the keycap puller. Okay. So we'll be using this in a while. All right. And then this is where the USB cable was, right? So you've got a picker, right? In the other videos, I saw that they also included an end cap. So honestly, I'm not so sure if this one actually included one or if nawala lang ng anak ko. But there was one that included an end cap. So you know, you can swap out. It was this size, right? And then it just like any other RK package, it includes 4 extra switches, right? So you can see here it's the 5-pin one. Okay, so let's get into this keyboard, right? So first of all, I'm gonna place the 61 here, right? I'm gonna place it right on top of it, no? Sorry guys, medyo tinamad na ako to place back the keycaps, right? But I just want to bring this out for size comparison, right? First of all, you know, my own 2 cents is, guys, don't go with the 61%, right? 61%, no, keyboard anymore, because honestly, for the very small extra space, right? And obviously right now the price point as well, no? This is very useful, right? The fact that you got these extra lights here, so at least alam mo na my caps lock, my num lock, right? Those are very useful. This extra knob is also very useful. And then for most importantly is the directional keys, right? So the RK61 actually didn't have these directional keys, and like every time I would use my son's keyboard, medyo nahirapan talaga ako in using them. Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about this keyboard, right? So it's a 65% keyboard. It's about 66 keys in total, right? So like I said, I really like the fact that it's laid out like this. Honestly, I would find this very useful. But like for me, my own personal take is that sayang yung function keys. Like if it had the function keys, honestly, I would find this very useful already, no? So you've got your PVT color block keycaps, right? So siguro that's the only one negative that I can see so far for this, is that it's not shine through, right? But it's a pretty solid keycap, right? So the fact that this won't fade, because that's actually not paint, no? That's actually the color coming in from the bottoms. That's why they call it double shot. So they inject the first color and then they inject a second color right after, right? So very useful. So of course, I also want to show the profile, right? So for this particular keyboard, you've got the MDA profile, but the keycaps itself, it's very round as well, right? So parang it's more of a mix between like a cat and an SA, right? So, for me, very very nice. I can compare it right now with my other keyboard. I've got an RK84 right here. So you can see here, this one's a little bit more uniform, right? Compared to how an MDA looks and feels. So you can see parang medyo it falls more into like a curve, right? Into a curve with this being the main point and then this being the ano. Honestly, it's very comfortable. I like it a lot. Okay, now let's go into the switch. So as you can see here, the switch is 5-pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It can also work with a 3-pin as well. But the switch is shine through as well over here. So you can see, no, shine through siya because north facing yung LED lights niya. So right here, no, north facing siya. But since this cap, honestly, it's not shine through. Wala namang issue yan masyado. Okay? So let's show you the keyboard already right now. So honestly, there's not a lot of mods that you can do here already, no? So you can see here that they've already placed keyboard foam as well, no? You've got the stabs there. Okay, and one other thing is you can see already from here that they even have like a foam layer here already. And even before, can you see it? Even before hitting the PCB, you've got another layer here of plastic protective, right? So it's very interesting, no, that we actually we actually had to do these mods ourselves before, right? And you can see in my video, it's super duper long. So it already has this hard plate, right? And underneath it, you've got this parang membrane as well. Parang it's more of silicone, right? It's medyo, but you'll see in the picture that I'm going to be placing here as well, that it even has a bottom sponge, a membrane under the switch, and a pad under the switch, and then the bottom, the base layer, has a sound absorbing sponge, right? So like before, honestly, all of those, like if I were to buy it, it's already half the cost of this keyboard, right? So let's move further into this keyboard. You've got an aluminum knob here on the top right, right? So this one controls the volume, and then it's actually pressable as well. So you can actually press that in order to mute as well, no? So let's go around. So this one's a bit of a new branding for me to see, right? So they call it Lab, RK Lab, 65%. So it's pretty much straightforward all around, no? It's not much branding, which I like. Since this is a single mode, it only has the USB-C connector, but if this was a tri-mode, it would, and I'll place a picture here as well, no? It would have a switch right here. This one would be the holder for the 2.4 gig connector, right? So it won't have any separate holder for that, no? This skirt, you can't take it out, right? So previously, in some other arcade keyboards, you can take out the skirt if you want that kind of aesthetic. This one, no. Medyo, you can't talaga, right? So here in the back, this is the only other metal part aside from the knob. So they actually, it's very nice. Obviously, this will not fade, right? Because it's laser etched this time, no? So it adds a little bit more class to the keyboard, no? And then that's the details on that. So you can see here, it has a 2-prong riser, right? So there's one, no? And then may goma siya sa ilalim, and then here's the other one, okay? So there you go, right? So very nice. You know, the previous RK61 didn't have that as well, right? Very, very, you know, at least medyo nag-evolve na sila. So you just snap that back. In terms of flex, yes, definitely may flex siya, right? But I'll be honest with you, I don't really mind because it's very heavy, right? This is about 640 grams, right? And you can feel it. You can definitely feel the weight to it. It doesn't feel like a toy. Lastly, in terms of the switch, the total travel is about 3.4 millimeters with a conduction stroke of 2 millimeters and operational force of 45 grams, and an end force of 55 grams. So honestly, yeah, it's very similar to the Cherry Reds in terms of um, force. But what's very nice about, I think this is basic for all keyboards right now. It's pre-lubed already, right? It's very creamy already, so to speak. Probably why they made it that specific color. So let's play with the other stuff. I want to show you what the key presses are. Let's go ahead and get the cable and power this keyboard up. So I wanted to go a little bit closer to the keyboard. Okay. So you can see the colors, right? So the caps lock is straightforward, no? It's only a white LED. And then here, if you want to do a Windows lock, you just have to hold the function and Windows. So you can see it there. Single LED as well. Let's just show it a little closer. So you can see there. It looks a little blue on my camera, but that's actually more of a white, right? Like a cool white. Okay, so let's go over the typical other questions that you guys want to ask. So let's lower this light for a bit because I need you guys to see the lighting. So in typical fashion, this function up controls the brightness. Okay, so if you can see that, it's going to the brightest. So I'm gonna leave it in the brightest setting, and then left and right makes it go slow. Okay, and then going to the right makes it go faster. So there's only 5 settings for that. Okay, so you can see if you've hit the end, this one, it starts blinking, no? So let's leave it at 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this one, if you hit the function backspace, it goes through the different modes. There are a total of 14 different modes, right? So this one, obviously, it's like a random. And then this seems to be like breathing with color changes. No, and if you want to change the color, it's function, and then this comma. So you can change the color here. But this one only works with the monotone ones, right? So this one. So let's leave it here, okay? And then the next one, this one seems that it jitters more. You can see it's like a wave. And then you've got your random Christmas-esque light. And then this one is when you type, it's like it's breathing, right? You can change the color just like the others. So it actually hits the vertical and the horizontal line. So you can see it lights up. Okay, let's check out the next one. So this one is only for that specific key. No? And then once again, you can change the lights for that as well. So this one, single light, and then it changes when you type. Okay. And then what's this? This one, I think it's similar to the other one, but you can see that it sort of like has a bigger radius, and of course we can change the colors as well. So this one, it's more of like flashing when it's coming from where you're typing, and then of course we can change that as well. And then you've got your single color. A lot of people like the single color, right? And then you're back to like the breathing one. And then you've got like this strobe version. You can change the light that is strobing across. So if you can see the light that's strobing across, in purple. And then now it's blue, okay? So this one, you've got the windmill. I believe this is the windmill effect. And then you've got your typical multicolor one. And then this one is the multicolor, but towards the middle. And then you've got the Christmas one again. So I believe we've gone through the whole list already. Okay, so the function keys, this one's actually pretty simple, no? So if you hold down function 1, function 2, all the way here until function 10, 11, and then 12. Okay, so like I said, I prefer to have actual function buttons because I use it so much, right? So mga Excel, and all of these stuff, right? Now, in terms of Windows multimedia keys, this one's a bit more complex, right? So if you actually had the function buttons, it would be more of a function and then the F1 button, right? So say for instance, I'll post the pictures up here, no, of all of the multimedia keys. So basically, if you want to use these for multimedia control instead of function control, right? You basically have to press function and control. So I wish there was like a light for that, right? Because there's no visible function that I can see or a reminder on my screen, right? So right now it's in, function 1, function 2, right? So once again, if you hit control, if you hit function and control, this will move into a, if I press that, yan, kita mo lalabas yung my computer, right? If I go function 2, okay, the browser will come out. It came out in my other screen though. And then you've got function 4, right? So the keyboard, so the calculator comes out, and then you've got your player, you've got your stop, you've got your last song, pause, next song, mute, which is a bit redundant because you have that here already, right? And then you've got your volume down and then volume up, right? But I would prefer to keep that as more of the function buttons. Okay, now you can also shift this keyboard to Windows and Mac, right? So if you go function A, this is in Windows mode. Okay, if I go function S, okay, now it moves into Mac mode. Okay, so that's very useful because there's certain people that prefer to switch between over a Mac and a Windows setting, right? So we'll go back to Windows mode. So a couple of other questions that most people will ask before they buy this is, hey, where is the end? Where is the home? Where is the insert pause, right? So we'll start with the print screen. So the print screen is function and this button, okay? And that triggers the print screen, no? Once again, I would prefer to probably have that as a physical button because I use that a lot for work, right? Especially even like making videos, I take a lot of screenshots, right? So insert is function delete, pause is function page up, okay? And then end is function page down, okay? And then home is function and then left bracket. And then scroll is function and then right bracket. Okay? So I would honestly prefer that they would have dropped this page up and page down here, because in laptops it's typically function up and then function down, right? So page up, page down. I would prefer if that can be remapped. And then home is function left, and then end is function right. And then maybe sana, these ones can be maybe print screen or scroll lock, right? So maybe one of those, right? So now let's move on to the keyboard test. So you can see there, let's try and compare this side by side with my red linear switches. So it's definitely a little clickier, right? But the feeling, I would say like my red linears are a little bit like more smooth, right? This is a little bit more clickier, so it's sort of between like a brown and a red to me, right? The trigger force isn't that high as well. Okay, so I think that's it. I plan on doing a couple more videos on this keyboard, right? The first one is I kind of want to open this up and see what else we can do inside of it. So that might be one video. Another video is that I was thinking about going over the software for this, because it seems that there's two different types of softwares for this. One is the basic one where you can connect the RK2, right? And I believe that you can also do that music mode that I've shown in my other videos. And then the last one is you can flash the firmware to what's called a QMK based one, wherein you can change and remap the keyboards and the lights and all of these stuff with a web-based one. So that one makes it much simpler, because like the program for RK, it only works for Windows. But if you have the web one, you can actually do that anywhere, right? Windows, Mac, Linux, right? And it just sends that programming file over to the keyboard directly. So I think that's it for this review, right? I just really want to thank you guys for following me throughout this year, right? I've actually finally been monetized. And once again, guys, if you want any of those videos that I mentioned, please comment. Please drop a comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, so at least you'll find out when those videos come out, okay? Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.